Canada News Article 1. Canada's Economy, Population Shift, and Trade Relations, a comprehensive update. Canada is currently navigating a critical phase marked by economic adjustments, population changes, and evolving international trade relationships. Recent developments indicate that the country is recalibrating long-standing policies in response to housing pressures, labor market needs, and global economic uncertainty. Population decline raises concerns. For the first time in decades, Canada has recorded a noticeable decline in population growth. This shift has been largely attributed to changes in immigration policy, particularly reductions in temporary residents such as international students and foreign workers. Government data indicates that Canada's population growth slowed significantly in recent quarters, signaling a major demographic turning point. Experts suggest that this adjustment is intentional. The federal government aims to reduce pressure on housing, healthcare, and public infrastructure, especially in major urban centers like Toronto and Vancouver. Authorities have emphasized that the goal is not to discourage immigration entirely, but to create a more sustainable balance between population growth and available resources. Immigration policy reforms. Canada has introduced new caps on international student permits and tightened rules for temporary foreign workers. These reforms are expected to reduce the number of non-permanent residents while prioritizing skilled workers aligned with labor shortages in healthcare, construction, and technology. Officials state that permanent residency pathways remain open, but will now focus more heavily on economic contribution, language skills, and regional settlement outside major cities. Provinces are being encouraged to attract newcomers to less populated areas where workforce demand is higher. Employment and economic outlook. Despite population changes, Canada's labor market has shown resilience. Recent employment figures revealed a surprising increase in job creation, particularly in the service, construction, and renewable energy sectors. However, economists caution that this growth may be uneven, with small businesses still facing high borrowing costs due to interest rate pressures. Inflation has moderated compared to previous years, giving the Bank of Canada some flexibility in future monetary policy decisions. Analysts expect interest rates to stabilize, with potential cuts if economic conditions weaken further. Housing market stabilization efforts. Housing affordability remains one of Canada's most pressing challenges. In response, the federal government has expanded funding for affordable housing projects and incentivized provinces to accelerate construction approvals. Restrictions on speculative foreign property purchases have also been extended to curb price inflation. While prices in some regions have cooled slightly, demand continues to outpace supply, especially in metropolitan areas. Long-term solutions, experts say, depend on sustained housing development rather than short-term policy fixes. Canada-US. Trade relations. Trade relations between Canada and the United States remain a cornerstone of the Canadian economy. Officials from both countries are preparing for upcoming reviews of the USMCA trade agreement, focusing on key sectors such as automotive manufacturing, agriculture, energy, and critical minerals. Canadian negotiators are expected to push for the removal of remaining tariffs and trade barriers, particularly in the steel and aluminum industries. Maintaining stable trade access to the U.S. market is considered essential for Canada's export-driven economy. Major investments and industrial growth. Canada continues to attract large-scale investments in mining, clean energy, and advanced manufacturing. Recent corporate mergers and infrastructure projects are expected to create thousands of jobs and strengthen Canada's position in global supply chains. The government has highlighted critical minerals, including copper and lithium, as strategic priorities due to their importance in electric vehicle production and renewable energy technologies. Conclusion: Canada is undergoing a period of careful economic and demographic recalibration. While challenges remain in housing, affordability, and workforce distribution, policymakers are working to balance growth with